What is the England team that you are selecting for their match against Italy? Italy, who no longer are a guaranteed win. I know they've never beaten England, but that record is going to have to come to an end at some point. And with the current Italian crop, why not this year? And look, I know they conceded 73 points against France, but they are a serious rugby team. As for England, how much does the injury to George Martin present an opportunity for you to shake things up in the way that you would like? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm going to give you what I think or what I would pick, and also I'll tell you what I think Steve Borthwick will do, and I'll say what I would do as well when it comes to picking the England team for Italy in the wake of the news that George Martin is out for the Six Nations. He had a niggling knee injury, which was being kind of treated, but didn't keep him out of any games. It's the shoulder injury, which has meant that he's had to go back to Leicester Tigers, although I think he's actually still rehabbing with the England squad. Anyway, he's not going to play in the final two games. There are other England players who are working with the physios currently, and this week will not be taking, or this last week haven't taken a huge part in training, but will apparently be taking a full part in training next week. That is Tom Willis, Ollie Lawrence, Ben Earl and Tom Curry. So the starting back row from the last game, all with the odd little issue, but they're looking like they're going to train fully this coming week and will be available for selection. Would you keep it exactly the same? And Ollie Lawrence back and fit, he's going straight back in the team, no question there. There is one player, only one, bearing in mind there was a lot of potential injuries here, don't look to be serious, but there's one player brought back into the squad, and that is Jack Van Portfleet, fresh from a really good performance for England Day. He looked sharp in that game. And, well, Steve Borthwick doesn't seem to trust Ben Spencer, nor did Eddie Jones before him. So, you know what, maybe there's something they're seeing at the international level, which they're not getting from Ben Spencer. Equally, bearing in mind the way that England play, very structured, kick to compete, that doesn't play to Harry Randall's strengths. So, and I know Steve Borthwick has said, we're not playing the way we want to play, and Scotland negated England, in, as Steve Borthwick put it, from being able to do what they wanted. So maybe they are picking Harry Randall because he wants to play with more tempo, with more pace, with more attacking intent. But nonetheless, maybe Jack Van Portfleet would be a smarter move with this current England team. He's got the biggest hang time on his kicks. He's very, very good. He can do lots of other things as well. I'm not trying to say the guy's a one-trick pony by any stretch. But one thing Jack Van Portfleet does do very well, better than most English nines, is kick. So that could get him the nod. As for the actual job of replacing George Martin, well, where does that job go? Ollie Chesham started the last test against Scotland and played really well. Played great for half an hour when he came on against France as well. So the starting job looks like it's Ollie Chesham's, and maybe, again, he would be expected or hoped to play 80 minutes. I think he played 79 minutes of the last game. Completely emptied the tank when he ran back to tackle Stafford McDowell for Scotland. Try-saving tackle, as it turned out. And the effort that he put into that meant that Ted Hill came on straight afterwards. And fair play Ted Hill, in that minute or two he was on, put in some shots. He was busy in a very, very short space of time. Will Ted Hill be the guy that replaces Ollie Chesham again? Alex Coles is the one specialist lock that is in the England squad and not being selected. There's no Charlie Yaws, there's no Nick Ezekwe. So it's Alex Coles. Do you think Alex Coles will get onto the bench? He hasn't played a lot. I'm kind of hoping in a funny way that it continues with Chandler Cunningham South and Ted Hill on the bench. Neither of them are specialist locks. They've both slotted in there when it's been needed. But George Martin wasn't he's decent in the line-out, but that's not why he's there. George Martin is there to whack people and to break up opposition mauls, just to be a general hard man menace, to be honest. And George Martin does that job very, very well. But I do think that is a role that Chandler Cunningham South and Ted Hill can fulfil. Yes, not like as elite a line-out forward as Alex Coles would be, but between them, and particularly as the pair of them might be coming off the bench at the same time, you almost think like the two of them together, one in the back row, one maybe slotting in the second row, could, between them, manage to cover the job of a second and third line-out jumper for England, whilst also going and putting it about when they're around the park. So I think I'd prefer to persevere with Chandler Cunningham South and Ted Hill than bringing Alex Coles. This was the team last time. So we had Ellis Genge, Luke Cowan-Dickie, Will Stewart as the front row, backed up by Jamie George, Finn Baxter, Joe Hayes. I see no reason to change that. For once, England had a scrum which was not just getting parity, but was actually getting an edge on an opposition. And this is a trend that is starting to return to the England team, and I am delighted to see it. There's been a massive improvement in Ellis Genge and his scrummaging, and Will Stewart has been one of the revelations for England in this Six Nations tournament, and following on from a good performance in November. Itoje and Chesham, second row, no question, and I would keep the same back row. As long as they're fit and available and training well, that's fine. I know a lot of people have sort of pointed to guys like Henry Pollock, giving him minutes against Italy or Wales. Well, Italy are no mugs. They're a proper rugby team. And Wales are back. I might have, even a week ago, I might have said, yeah, okay, I'll be up for maybe trying a couple of players out against Wales. And I'm still not against that. But 2 games and England can still win the Six Nations Championship, technically. Very unlikely, but technically. And they can certainly finish second. So they've got it all to play for. And I think it should be kept fairly similar. I think this year, with it being a British and Irish Lions year, the summer tests is the perfect time for guys like Henry Pollock to get a start. And then maybe he's brought in properly for the November series when he's had a bit of time in the England jersey. They've had a proper look at him. The Lions guys have been off and then they come back. So I'd keep it exactly the same in the pack. And on the bench, I would go Chandler Cunningham South and Ted Hill, along with Ben Curry, who was ace as well. The changes I would make, however, come with the back players. And on the bench, I think I would change for Jack Van Portfleet for Harry Randall. I really like Harry Randall. And I don't agree with a lot of people saying he's clearly not an international player. I don't see that. I know a lot of people have said that before about Jack Van Portfleet when he had a poor game by his standards. And now the same people, or maybe the same people, are saying, oh yeah, Jack Van Portfleet should come back in and Harry Randall's the one that's not an international player. There's too much reactionary thinking, in my humble opinion, so I wouldn't change a great deal. Jack Van Portfleet, I think, is one that I would probably change based on what we saw last week and the way that England are playing, which I have no major problem with. I would like them to loosen up when they get good territory, but I think, as I showed on a video that I put up earlier in the week, lack of ambition in the first half might have been an issue with England because they had no territory or possession in Scotland's half. Second half, England were trying things and actually looking quite good, except for loads and loads of handling errors. So anyway, I would make a change at scrum half on the bench. And the other one I would consider would be Ollie Slightholme. He didn't have his greatest day, and Scotland put some bombs up on him and he looked vulnerable. And if you were an opposition and Ollie Slightholme was picked again, you might be thinking, we could probably get some change out of that. And I imagine Italy probably would. However, the upside of Ollie Slightholme in attack is enough that makes me think that if England can get some territory in possession, they can impose their game on Italy. And with that being the case, I think I would persist with Ollie Slightholme in the team and keep him exactly where he is. So I would just make the one change, and it would be on the bench. I know a lot more people would have, maybe you would have a lot more radical thoughts. I know there's been a lot of people saying Henry Slade needs to be out the team. I think he's the best option we have. A lot of people would say that they want guys like Henry Pollock in for challenges against Italy or Wales. I disagree. I think the back row have been brilliant. The guys on the bench. So yeah, just the one change for me. Maybe I'm boring and conservative, like people are accusing Steve Borthwick of, or I don't know. Maybe I'm right. You'll let me know in the comments down below, and I look forward to getting involved with you there. I'll see you on the next one.